Pickup truck sales are on fire, and it's all because of you guys. You are buying more pickup trucks than ever before. The sales numbers are crazy, and perhaps it's time to add electricity to that quotient.
Well, it certainly seems like there's a lot of manufacturers that are figuring that out, because we've seen a bunch of new electric pickup trucks start to pop up on the market, including the one we're going to be talking about today, which is called the Atlis XT pickup. So they've released a bunch of information on their website about this new electric pickup truck, and in this video, well, we're going to tell you everything that we already know, including some really crazy numbers.
They're nearly outlandish, and the thing is, this is all based on a vehicle that's supposed to be delivered as early as 2020.
So let's get into it.
Let's start with the range.
So range, they're claiming a number of different ranges depending on what battery packs you choose, but anywhere from a base range of 300 miles all the way up to a maximum range of 500 miles. Which is a lot of range.
Yeah.
Certainly a lot more than anything that's currently on the market.
Yeah, the range itself is interesting. The amount of charge time they're claiming is astonishing.
That is the really, really crazy part, because Atlis Motor Vehicles is claiming a charge time of 15 minutes. Not like 80% battery in
Maximum.
15 minutes, a full charge in 15 minutes.
Now bear in mind, no company that's currently out there with electric vehicles has claimed anything near that time. Performance numbers are out of this world.
Yeah, they're really crazy, the numbers that Atlis is quoting. They're saying that the XT pickup will have a top speed of 120 miles an hour. That's not that mind-blowing. A 0 to 60 time of 5 seconds, which is pretty quick for a big pickup truck. And this one's super interesting, actually. They're saying that it'll do 0 to 60 in 18 seconds at its maximum gross combined weight rating. Now, that maximum gross combined weight rating is 35,000 pounds. So with a 35,000 pound combined weight, it'll do 0 to 60 in 18 seconds. So they're also saying that gross combined weight rating, 35,000 pounds, will be able to take you up a 6% grade at 65 miles per hour if you get the dually configuration. So they're going to be offering this with 2 rear wheels or 4 rear wheels, a dually or a regular 2-wheel configuration.
A lot of claims here, guys. I'm curious to your take on it. Let's get up to the actual towing weights that it can handle.
So much like there are different range capacities and different battery capacities, there's a bunch of different towing capacities. So they gave us both with a trailer hitch and also with a gooseneck, which I think is kind of interesting. With the trailer hitch, you have anywhere from the base capacity of 5,000 pounds towing all the way up to 20,000 pounds of trailering weight. And then with a gooseneck, those numbers go up pretty drastically. You start at about 10,000 pounds of gooseneck weight,
right,
all the way up to 35,000 pounds.
35,000 pounds. Now here, the payload capacity finally tells the rest of this story, because you start at 1,000 pounds, which is, but you go all the way up to 5,000 pounds
of payload in the bed, which is just, that's absurd.
Let's talk about cab configurations and bed sizes, because this is not a regular truck.
No, they do have some options for bed lengths and cab sizes, which I think is pretty cool, actually. So there's 2 bed lengths you can pick from. There's a 6.5 foot bed, pretty standard, or an 8 foot bed if you want something like a work truck. And then, of course, there's also 2 cab configurations.
Right.
So they have a 2+2 extended cab or a 4-door crew cab.
Now, bear in mind, on the crew cab, you can get 2 bench seats that'll allow you to hold up to 6 people.
All right, what about the powertrain? We talked about the batteries a little bit, but we haven't talked about the powertrain itself. So this is a 4-wheel drive system that uses 4 electric motors, 1 at each wheel.
Yep.
And they all actually have independent suspension.
Yep.
So it should be 4x4, and they're saying that they can have independent traction control for each wheel, but that's pretty much all we get. We don't get horsepower or torque figures just yet, although given the sort of capacities and 0 to 60 times that they gave us, you have to assume it's going to be a lot.
It's going to be really high.
Right.
And the other thing is each axle has independent airbag control for the suspension.
Right, and as a result, there's multiple different suspension heights that you can choose from. So the base truck will have 12 inches of ground clearance, which is actually quite a lot for the base truck, but you can get an optional off-road long travel suspension kit that will get you up to 15 inches of ground clearance. That's a lot of ground
That's
clearance.
like Baja truck territory in some
That's
cases.
way up there, dude.
And bear in mind that the bottom of the vehicle should be relatively smooth and free from things, like gas tanks and transmissions and whatnot that are hanging there. So that could make for an interesting off-road vehicle.
They do give us some more information about the platform itself, right? They have this little tab on their website called Platform. And this could best be described as like a skateboard type platform, right?
Right.
So you get the frame and then the battery is mounted between the axles.
Right,
crucially.
right. Which is great for having a low center of gravity. The thing is that the frame itself appears to be a fully boxed frame. And if you look at the way the illustration goes, it looks like all the major components are at or below the frame height.
Right. So you can see that I don't know, it looks like it's maybe a foot tall or so, the battery pack itself, and they've kind of packed everything in around the battery in between the axles.
It actually looks like the way you would put together a modern remote control car.
It kind of does. That's actually a really good way to put it. Kind of, you stick the body on top of all the kind of inner workings,
right?
Which is how
and then a massive component is the batteries,
right? Which is, you can see right here, is absolutely huge.
And we don't have any battery information either. Nothing on kilowatt hours. Nothing on.
They just tell us the range. So let's get into some more of the kind of options and stuff that they talk about, right? Because there are a bunch of cool features.
There are some really neat features, yeah.
And one of the ones that I particularly wanted to point out was this optional onboard air compressor, right? So they have a picture here on their website where you can choose to add an air compressor into the bed.
Yeah.
Some other features: being an electric vehicle, it's actually really easy to just stick a bunch of power outlets everywhere. So you have the option for 120 volt, 20 amp, or 240 volt, 40 amp power available. So I think the idea that they're going for here is to build a truck that you can use it like a normal truck, right? You can take it out in the middle of nowhere, go camping with it. You're going to have power available to sap because it has a giant battery pack, presumably.
Potentially,
right?
Yeah.
They want you to be able to go off-roading with it. That's why they've given it so much.
Or take it to the work site where you can plug in and use it as a work vehicle.
Exactly.
So it has potential. I mean, in terms of the idea.
One other cool feature that they're planning to introduce on this truck is the integration of cameras for your side mirrors. They're going to have these little kind of stalks that stick out of the side of the truck, and those will act as your side view mirrors.
Right, right. And that has been around for a long time with a lot of vehicles in terms of what they want to sell in the United States. But here's the problem. At least here, you cannot have video cameras without a mirror backup. So in other words, you definitely can have video cameras on the right and left side, all over the truck. But at least on the doors where the mirrors go, there has to be a mirror for backup. There is one thing we forgot to mention when it comes to cargo space, and that is the front of the truck. There's no engine, so there's space in there for a cargo area.
And better yet, one of my favorite things about what they're showing us on this truck so far, it has a tailgate at the front, and they actually call it a front gate because it's not at the tail of the truck, but it does have, you like open the hood, right?
Right.
And then there's a cargo area, but you also have this little hatch that you can flip down, and it looks like you can maybe sit on it or something like that. I don't know. It looks really cool though.
It does look really cool. By the way, Bollinger on their truck, they do have something similar. Now in this particular case, it's really cool for me because that's big enough to hold a couple coolers, some golf bags, stuff like that.
Tons of space back there.
Tons of space. Let's get down to what we got on this side of the board because we're talking price too. There's a couple little hints at what they're hoping to charge people, and they're hard to believe.
It's really interesting, the pricing options. So if you go on their website, they have two little buttons at the bottom of the screen, right? There's one that says reserve and one that says invest. And if you click on the button that says invest, it takes you to a page called Start Engine, which is like a Kickstarter, a crowdfunding website, which they're using to fund some of this. But they do get into some details about pricing. And what they say is that there's going to be two ways to own this, right? So they'll have a subscription service, which is something that a lot of automakers are trying to do right now.
Right.
And that subscription service will cost you $700 a month at the base price. And what that gets you is the truck, it gets you insurance, it gets you maintenance, and then you also have the option to get a new vehicle every 5 years. But they also will let you just buy one outright.
Yep.
And the expected starting price, which they're quoting right now, is $45,000.
Their first year of production, which is supposed to be 2020.
That's what they're saying.
They're expecting to sell 100 trucks and then start building from there.
Right. They say in 2020 it'll be 100. In 2021 it'll be 1,000. 2022 they're expecting 10,000, and by 2023 they want to deliver 30,000 trucks. Or at least if you go to their investor page, their crowdfunding page, that's what they claim. They're going to present the truck, those are their words, to the market in February of 2019, which is very soon, Nathan. That's only a month and a half away. That brings up an interesting point about the competition because we were just at LA a few weeks ago, and recently a lot of companies have been coming out with plans to release electric vehicle pickup trucks in the near future. And the question is, will this beat those trucks to the market? And according to their plan, well, yeah, kind of, right?
Right. I mean, according to what they're saying about delivering 100 trucks in 2020, if they manage to do that and actually sell them, then they would beat these companies for an electric pickup truck. And the reason why it's such a big deal is because electric trucks, well, if they can match or even come close to what we're currently selling with regular trucks, we're talking about millions of vehicles being sold.
Big market. We just got the sales data in for 2018, and you guys bought over 3 million trucks last year.
Over 3 million pickup trucks.
Crazy, and that's a growing figure too. It's picking up. Not to make
well, but the car segment is dropping a little bit. The point is that if they're going to make inroads into this market, choosing a pickup truck to start with is a really good idea. And then we have, the Tesla pickup truck supposed to come out, but not for a couple more years.
No, that's a little ways out. We know of the Bollinger, that's one of its competitors, and of course the Rivian. And the Rivian of the ones that we've mentioned seems like it's the closest to actually hitting the market.
Yeah, the Bollinger does have functional prototypes running around as well. So, truth be told, those two companies at least have something physical to present investors.
Exactly, and they are taking deposits on those physical prototypes. Of course, so is Atlis. You can go on their website and you can invest in them or reserve a truck, both of which have different, they have all sorts of options you can check out there.
What do you think? We really want to see what your answers are down below because, frankly speaking, this would be really awesome if they could pull it off, and if they don't pull it off, it's still awesome for us because it's news.
For the Fast Lane Truck, I'm Mike Curtis.
And I'm Nathan Adlin.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, like Nathan said, drop some comments down below. Tell us what you think of this truck. Tell us if you think they're going to hit those numbers, if you're going to try and buy one, all that good stuff. Of course, like, subscribe. You know the drill. And we'll see you guys next time.
Cheese. I said cheese.
Cheese.
I said cheese. I was going to say cheers, and I said cheese. What the hell's wrong? Because I'm looking at a camera.
Cheese.
Cheese.